Alright, our next module is actually about module itself, right? It's a Python module, right? So very tricky, right? So this module, it's called module itself. I'll type in the word here. So it's called Python modules. So see, I think before I talk about Python modules, I'll give an example, right? Let's say you want to read about history. Okay, you want to read about what happened in India around 1600 to 1700, between these 2 years. So what do? You go to library and then you find out where is the history section, and then you pick the right book that you are looking for, isn't it? So this is what we do, right? So when we don't have information about something that we read, I'm saying before the age of internet. Okay, so let's say you don't have mobile phone, something, right? So there's only a library, and then you go to a library and then you go to that section, pick the book, right? Now similarly, Python is like that, right? So in Python there are lots of modules which you can pick up and use as per your own convenience, right? So I'll show you a couple of examples today as well, right? So I'll talk about a couple of modules, which are, one is math and then other is random. I use them, right? So during my work as well, right? So both of these modules, right? So by default many a times, right? Now as I said, you have to pick the book from the library, isn't it? So even you have to communicate that to your Python. So how do you communicate? So you write a word called import math. So when you do this, that means, so Python has collected all the information about this math library. Okay, so it has collected that module, and okay, it will be able to collect all the information inside it. So when we did this, what happens is you can access all the books inside history, something like that. I'll give an example. For example, let's say I want to find out a square root of 100. What do? You can do math dot square root and put 100. Okay, look at this. What did we do? We did a square root and then we use this math and then we did a square root and we've got the answer. So from math, we have imported everything that we can do with this math library. Okay, so this is, so I'll be using module library together, so don't get confused. It's called library, module, both of them are same. Okay, but library is the most common name, so that's why I'm using library. Right? It's called a Python library, right? So Python library, both of them are same. So Python library or Python module. Okay, so you can do this math dot square root, and you can also do, for example, math dot pi, right? You can access things like pi. So you can see the pi value, or you can also use sine theta, cos theta, sine value, cos value. So you can get those kind of values as well. Or you can also do things like power, right? So math dot power of, so let's say 2 power 8. You can just do 2 comma 8. It will automatically give you 2 power 8. 2 power 10, you can also do that, right? Or all the basic math, like for example factorial also you can do, right? So math dot you just put factorial. So 5 factorial, how much is 5 factorial? 120, right? So you can use this kind of things as well, right? So very simple. So what did we do? So we imported math, we imported a lot of functions with math. So that means you will be able to access functions, variables, everything that is present inside that library, right? Now, so David, so every time I have to type math, is there an easier way to do it? So you can also do in something like, for example, import math as m. Okay, you type it something like this. Now wherever you use m, it becomes your math. Okay, m dot power, you do 2 comma 2 power 6. Okay, so now your m became your math. You don't have to type math every single time, right? It's like a shortcut, so that you don't have to type every single time. Okay, and similarly there's another module that you can check. It's called random. So it is also very popular, very useful as well. So you can just do import random. So this will be useful now. So again, you can do things like pick a random number, right? So random will give you a random number between 0 to 1. You run it again, it will give you a new number, right? So that's the beauty of this random, right? So you can do that. And for example, you can also do, right, so you can also do random int. So that is done using random dot rand int. So you can put rand int and put, let's say I want to pick a random number between 1 to 1000. You can say 1 comma 1000 and enter. It will give you a random number every time between 158. Okay, or you can give a random number between, let's say 1000 to 999, right? So yes, 9999, right? So this actually a very good use case is your OTP. Okay, so every time you get a 4-digit OTP, so what is running behind the scenes? Some random number, you see. So every time you run, you'll get a 4-digit number. Okay, so this is the use case of random int, right? So random numbers are used very very practically, right? So everywhere. Or let's say you can use it to do some tricky things, like for example, so let's say I have a list. Okay, list 1. So I have a list of colors, let's say black, blue, and then you have yellow. Okay, so you have 3 colors. Okay, let's assume you have 3 colors. Now I want to pick a random color. Okay, you can actually use random function for that. So random dot, just put choice of ls1 and enter. It will automatically give you any random color of, so this list I've put only 3 colors, right? You can keep adding to this. Let's say I add green to it, right? So, or I add gray to it, I add white to it. You can add hundreds, thousands, 10,000s of colors. It will pick you random color every single time. Okay, random dot choice. So this is also very useful. And you can also do, like, let's say list 1, I want to shuffle things. Okay, shuffle and do a random shuffle of ls1. Now let us print ls1. Let's see what actually happens in shuffling, right? You see, so these are jumbled. So a very good use case of shuffling is, I'll tell you using this example, right? So you have ls2 and this ls2 has cards. So you just bought a pack of cards and c1, c2, they are arranged in a proper order. Okay, c4, c5, c6 and c7. So let's say I have a deck of 7 cards. Now you do random dot shuffle of ls2 and now print ls2. You see, these cards are shuffled. Okay, so this is a very good use case of all gaming companies, right? So every time you play a card game, the cards are shuffled and distributed to each player, isn't it? So there also randomness is quite useful. Okay, so yeah, I think I hope this was helpful. You can explore random dot sample as well. So that is also a good use case. Choice with multiple options, right? What if I want to pick 2 numbers out of 10, right? What if I want to pick 3 numbers, n numbers out of a set, right? You can do those kind of things also, right? So yes, so this is how. So Python has lot more such Python libraries. So there is also, if you want to check more inbuilt libraries, there is OS library, there's JSON library, right? So these are all additional libraries that Python actually uses. You can check request library, which is used to access URLs, right? So all of that, right? So yeah, so if possible, I'd add you a resource, right? So what kind of libraries are used for different use cases as well. So that's all for this module. See you in the next one.